Let's do our pretend waking up again, Lizzie. Mind you, we have only just woken up in the last few seconds. One thing I forgot to mention is the pillow failed the other trip as well. But it's kind of better this way, because it's kind of bigger. My sticky thing went down, so that really didn't work. So I was on the ground most of the night, didn't sleep a huge amount. I did do the door up, which I know some of you are thinking, he says he never does the door up, why did he do the door up? Very simple reason for doing the door up last night, and that is because I was on the ground. It was quite cold, quite cool, and normally I like as much air as I can get, but because it was quite cool because I was on the ground, then for most of the night I slept with my wind shirt on top of the Century Designs and my down jacket, which I did take off an hour ago, and Century Design leggings on top of my, sorry, the Enlightened Equipment trousers on top of the Century Designs, because it was quite cool. And I'm pretty sure that's because I was on the ground, not because I wasn't wearing enough. But now we've got the sun and it's 9:15. We didn't really, it really was not a good night. I have to admit, I think if this had failed in the afternoon or early evening, I probably would have packed up. But we kind of got through the night. It was kind of a good practice. I just brought my very thin foam mat. That kind of is enough, just. But I do think that probably that egg-shaped X-Ped or the Z-Lite, I think would have been more comfortable and probably would have been warmer. But like I said, it wasn't too bad. It could have been worse. It's just I'm used to the comfort, so it really wasn't particularly comfortable. And of course, because you're aware of it, I couldn't fall asleep. I think I finally fell asleep at 3:30. I'm sure it was about 3:30. And then I think I woke up at 7:30, realised it was 7:30, and I took my down jacket off because I was quite warm then. And then I put my head down, and then the next thing I knew, it was 8:30. So it's like, I think if you're very, very tired, you will sleep, and I probably could have slept a little bit longer. I think the main reason probably why I didn't is I want to I want to be too late today. Famous last words. I will put a little bit of air in this now. and I'll show you. I'm going to take this off because that sun is going to be sunny intervals today, so that sun is going to come around and it is going to warm up quite quickly. And I think I'm also going to take these enlightened equipment leggings off too. And of course the thing in the summer, and I can take my nighttime socks off now as well, because the thing in the summer, when it's so warm, you don't need to be in your sleeping bag or anything.
Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button.
I peeled it back, and then I put a piece of duct tape right over it and a piece across. This side here has stuck really well. I don't know why that side has stuck so well particularly. That stuck well. This appears to have kind of stuck. This bit here is stuck. Where it's getting out is through here. So it was coming out here, and this tape across here wasn't holding, it was getting out. So you can see there how it was getting it under there, and then I put this patch on here to try and stop the air getting out here, because you can see the air gap pocket there. And it was trying to get out sort of around here, down under here. So I kind of patched up around this area here, but I don't know why, but duct tape just isn't really very it's not really very airproof. Some of this stuff that I don't need, I'm going to put away, just so it looks a bit tidier, and looks like I haven't got quite so much stuff to do. At one point I even went on top of the quilt, so I was lying on the quilt, or on the bottom part of the quilt, so that I kind of had the sort of pulled up over me, but obviously open on the top, because there isn't a bottom to it. And then my sort of thought process was, well, that's why I put my down jacket on, because then that would help keep me warm. But it was quite, because I was on the ground, it was quite cool. Right, well, we've just about worked out the milk, so we've got enough milk for another tea or two. We'll definitely have 2 more teas after this one. I've boiled the water. I had to put on my spare emergency gas because that small one did just run out. So I've filled it up with water. I think I need a drop more water, but not much. To be fair, it's not too bad actually. So we'll put that there a minute. It does line up, you kind of just have to jiggle it. Like I say, I have kind of got used to the speed of this of this gas malarkey. probably the drop of water, probably the water that was there in the first place probably was enough. But I'm just going to put that to one side. It's somewhere where I don't knock it. Oh. Let's see. I'll get on to Thermarest when I get back and see whether they'll be kind enough to replace this. I do have a spare one actually, because I had one that was damaged that they replaced, and and before that one got damaged, I did ask if they would send me one. So they sent me one, which might have been this one. And then, like I said, I had one that had a leak in it. It's that one on Dartmoor, because I bought one a while ago that I repaired. So they swapped that one out. So I have got a spare, thankfully. All right, well, the bizarre thing is, at the moment, it seems to be holding. It's almost like everything's had to have several hours to stick, because I've been lying here for half an hour and it hasn't really changed very much. I think it has maybe gone down a bit, but oh, my nose. Oh, I'll show you outside. Wouldn't it be nice if we'd have had this yesterday? Although, given the choice between this yesterday or today, and then good weather for walking out of camp, I must admit I will take the good weather for leaving camp. It wouldn't have been very nice walking back in that miserable weather, I have to say. It's a bit like real farmland at the moment. There's a lot of in fact, we've got everything at the moment. There's ponies over there, so you've got ponies dotted there, you've got sheep dotted all over, and white dots of sheep here. Oh, they're stones. I think that's sheep in the distance. A lot of sheep on that hill there, and you got looks like some cows up there and there, and then more cows there, and there's another pony down there too. Yeah, quite a lot of quite a lot of wildlife. Just a few parting thoughts on the Soulo now I've slept in it. This is effectively a second night, so you know, take my thoughts, 2 nights, 1 night here, 1 in Cheddar, you know, the other week, you know, with a pinch of salt. It's a Hilleberg, so obviously the quality is very good. It's clearly very, very strong, you know. I mean, you know, it's not realistically going to go very far, you know, in very, very strong wind. Realistically, I'm kind of thinking if it's that windy, you're probably not going to sleep anyway, and you'd probably be better off, you know, somewhere, trying to find somewhere more sheltered. 2.5 kilograms or 2.4 kilograms is, you know, is a lot of weight to carry. And as I said, I'd rather carry a little bit more and have the Nylon 2. Although obviously this will be stronger than the Nylon 2. But again, in theory, you'll be pitching not on the top of a mountain, you know, in a hurricane. The porch space is reasonable enough. You know, it's a decent porch space. I prefer the other two, the Nano and the Acto. I actually prefer the material here and sort of getting in and out this side here. And it's just a bit of a personal preference. Maybe that's what I'm used to with those. This reminds me a little bit of the X-Mid, because with the X-Mid you kind of have the door coming out, and then you have this part here sort of way over there. So this part here, you're either inside with the door closed or outside, because this is how I lie, you know, this side. Whereas I prefer to have the panel here, than where I'm lying is technically inside, so I have some protection and shelter. And then, you know, then I can have this bit is then open for getting in and out and such like. That's just a very personal preference. Like I said, this now means that I'm kind of inside outside, a bit like the X-Mid, which I'm not a huge fan of, as you will probably know if you've seen my many X-Mid videos. I just don't get that tent at all. It just does not suit my style of camping at all. At least with this panel here, it's you know, I can use the space here, whereas with the X-Mid, as I say, this space here under this cover is at the very end. I can't reach it. It's behind a pole with mesh this side, and you can't get to it. It's just not convenient for me. Maybe if I was lying, maybe if that bit was here, it would be maybe marginally more convenient, but I'd still have the mesh there, so I'd still have to access it kind of going out and to the side. It's not accessible from inside. So I noticed, so it seems to be when I've noticed Andrew Beaver's using his to do his cooking in the X-Mid, he's sitting out here and then doing accessing, and that's just not my way of doing things. I just don't like that. Anyway, back to this. You do get good height, so if you're a tall person, you're probably going to be quite a strong person, and therefore, you know, the height I think would be good for you, you know, with this. To me, the only real advantage of this over the Nano and the Acto is height. And I would prefer the other two because I'm not 10'9". You know, I'm not built like a brick chicken house. So they're better for me because they're lighter and, you know, and plenty roomy enough, you know, inside. So that's kind of my thoughts on this. I do like the double T-zip, you know, being able to open up. You could do that one up there, so that bit is completely done up if you want, but like I said, I like to have everything open. So it's a very nice tent, but having used it a couple of times, I can't realistically see me ever thinking that I need to get one. So it really just doesn't suit my style of camping. It's just too heavy. It's too heavy for, you know, for what I would do, for its weight and space. The porch is wider on the Enan and the Ecto, so you've got to be a little bit more careful when you're cooking in here. Still plenty of room, don't get me wrong, plenty of room for cooking with the door done up. I did the door up last night, and yeah, plenty of room for cooking. And you've got, you know, a pretty decent amount of space inside to put all your clobber and everything. And even in the winter, you'd be able to get undercover, do the door up and sort yourself out. And I must admit, for winter, this is probably an easier tent to work in than the other two because it's a little bit higher. So you could kind of sit here and, you know, just have more room to maneuver. So, you know, I know people tend to use it more for winter and, you know, and things like that. I mean, clearly I'm using it in the summer because Chris needs it back for the winter. But you know, I can understand that for the winter this would be better. But again, if I'm carrying 2.5 kilograms, I'd rather have more space with the Namash 2 and pitch carefully. Or if I'm carrying a lot of winter's kit, which is a lot heavier and it's not going to snow, I'd rather take something like the MOD Duomid XL that's, you know, what, 600 grams or whatever, you know, a fraction of the weight of this and much more space inside. So, you know, I mean, that's maybe marginally more fiddly to pitch. I mean, these Hillebergs, they are very, very easy, you know, they are very easy to pitch. But I think I'd rather, you know, save the weight and take an MLD, you know, Duomid XL, for example, and just spend a few more minutes pitching it for the weight saved in carrying it and the space inside once you've pitched and you're undercover. Anyway, that's just a few more thoughts on this. Now it's starting to go down now. I'll just show you this so you can see where the underneath duct tape has come away. It is starting to go down again now, and the tenacious tape on that has given way as well, so it is starting to go down again. I think we just need to get this packed away now. The ground is comfortable enough now. But we do need to slowly start to pack up. One thing I will just add in, it's coming up to 10 o'clock. So in the last couple of hours of sunlight, this has gone from about 61%, I think, to 77%. So we'll kind of see whether that gains much more, but you get real proper sun on it and it does make quite a difference. Okay, so in this stuff sack here, which I'm just going to stuff out here because it will just drop inside. My towel is dried, so that can just go in there. I'll leave the waterproof out just in case, but I really don't think we're going to need that. I'm not going to need her jacket because we'll be running back. I'll keep her little red jacket out for the car. I'll keep 2 snack bars out for the walk back. Other than that, I've eaten all of my food. I brought the flex tail thing. Apart from using the light once, I think the second night, never used it. That we're going to need. That gas can go in there. Rubbish will go in the... That's rubbish. Have food, we'll do separate. Toilet paper. Glasses are put in the side pocket. Hat separate. That's the other GoPro. The torch can go in there because I'm not going to need the torch. I will make another tea in a minute. On my pillow. Yeah, so the two baffles there and there broke. I could almost do with that back baffle breaking, because then it's actually bigger like that, and that's actually better for my head. I think I got another one of those, because I think I asked Dave in Cheddar to get me one. Oh, the only other thing I haven't, one thing I haven't put in, I can put it in. Doesn't matter, because it's not going to rain. I'm going straight back to the car, but it's my Senshi Designs. But like I said, as I said, I'm going straight back to the car, and it's not going to rain. If I was out for the day, then I would definitely put it in there, even if I didn't think it was going to rain, because I wouldn't want to take the chance of it not raining. It's on 80, so it's gained a couple, you know, in the last half hour. In this pack, so all my stuff that was in that stuff sack is on the left, and then the Enan is on the right. I can put the cooker and the gas in that space there. I don't think the chair will fit. Okay, so we put the chair there. So then the only thing that's left, you know, is a few teeny weeny bits there that, you know, is nothing. The tent and the gas and the cooker will go on the top. And that's pretty much everything done. A few thoughts. The solar panel has taken that from 60 something to 90 something, so 30% in, you know, about 3 hours, which is not too bad really, but you really really do need the sun on it a lot, and we can get all these last little bits in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish recording here and then put the camera, the GoPro, in there as well, because obviously all the food has gone now. That was the main thing that was taking, you know, extra space in there. So, and I'm not, there's no point filming walking on the way back. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this now, and the GoPro's down to about 10%, so it could even run out as well. So unless the GoPro doesn't run out, I'm going to get going, and I will see you all in the next video. Another little tip is put your pegs
somewhere other than where your tent is, shelter taps, anything like that, unless you're, you know, very, very sure that you're not going to stick a hole in. I'm sure it would be okay there, but it's not my tent and I've got space elsewhere, so it's not worth, you know, it's not worth the accident or anything. And so we're on 97%. We're on 97% now. As I say, it would have been so nice to have had sun yesterday and today. You know, then we could have given that a really good, you know, test out in really good sun. It does seem like a 10,000 milliamp pack might get 10% an hour, maybe. Can't say for absolute sure. That's a bit of a judgmental guess, to be fair. It's a bit like origami, this. Oh no, it goes that way. And then I can put that, will go in that front pocket, because I won't bother charging anything on the way back. And that is everything. So obviously once you've packed everything, you know, obviously just make sure that everything's in your pack secure. So we'll do that up in a minute. Look around, you know, obviously make sure that you've taken everything, you know, and if you had a friend with you, obviously, you know, it was just me, but obviously we were pitched over here as well yesterday, so just have a little look there. We've got everything. So now we are finally ready to get going, and it's just coming up to 11. I think by the time we've put this away and done it up, it'll probably be about a minute or two past 11. So that's not, it's not too bad. That's not too bad for me. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series of videos, whatever we've ended up doing. And you know, I will look forward to seeing you. I'm starting to do the tripod arm now, and I'll see you in the next video. Trying to save some seconds.